Since Coachella, one thing has been keenly evident. Katseye isn't for the teen girls that idolize them, but for a very different demographic. And this is a scheme that started young. To understand how Katseye is Katseye now, you have to look at each member individually and the role they were put in for this to happen. Lara plays the role of the consenting, the sexy member, the one that seems to consent to being sexy for others. She debuted at 18, and since Dream Academy, and even before Dream Academy, she was heavily sexualized. This may have been Lara's genuine choice, since she said that she was asked to tone down the sexiness when she first joined. But it seems pretty intentional that they scouted someone who is willing to be a bit more sexual. Some of her first appearances and posts on Instagram and YouTube is her dancing sensually in her sister's music video. Even now at just 20, she's constantly arching her back and being very sexual in her performances. Clearly she enjoys being sexy, and that's fine, but this is one of the ways the company sells you an illusion. Daniela works as the enforcer and validates the idea of consent. Without Daniela, Lara would experience a lot more heat than she does now. Daniela started as a dancer doing Latin ballroom since she was young. While she looks so impressive doing it, it's quite easy to sexualize in the eyes of the wrong people. Again, dancing is her choice and a perfectly normal thing to be doing, but it does prime someone better for being sexualized. A big piece that supports the narrative to sexualize her is this clip. Why would a company include a clip like this? Why include clips of the members inputting their opinions on their outfits? Why include Daniela asking to crop her top? The company knew by including clips like this, outfits that overtly sexualize them look like their decision, reinforcing consent. Sophia works as the safety, the member that makes Katseye seem less like a collective of Euphoria characters to a global girl group. She's specifically dressed a bit more conservatively than the other members. She's almost proof that the companies listen to the idols. She's also the leader of Katseye, so she needs to seem more professional than the others, so that the group seems more self-managed than it is. Sophia's work as the safety gives the impression of control, that Katseye can control their image and that this sexualization is something in their control. Manon, as the face of the group, is the cover. As the oldest, she's also often sexualized, but not to the degree of Daniela and Lara, but not as conservative, if you can call it that, as Sophia. There is a reason as to why the group feels so strange without Manon. She works as a bridge. As someone who is black but is considered beautiful, Manon's presence gives the impression that this is good, that they're making her beautiful for good reasons and not for the actual truth. You can also say that about Lara too, but Lara fits the consenting a bit more. And then it gets more uncomfortable, because the last two roles are where things shift from strange to genuinely disturbing. Megan is put in a very disgusting role, the dream girl. As an adult, Megan's sexualization is excused and ignored since it's legal, but she works as a gateway of sorts, a loophole. Megan has a youthful face, both from being such a young girl and also just in general, but she's constantly put in very sexualized outfits. Just look at Pinky Up. She's even linked to childish toys, and her pink hair can come across as childish. In Gabriella, she also dances very sensually. She's associated with youthful things like gaming and memes. As the dream girl, she seems like the perfect woman for disturbing old men, someone who looks underage, but can be legally sexualized. Yoonchae, unfortunately and sadly, is the target. Since then, she has been made to become increasingly more sexualized as the years go on. First, it's the Mama performance, then it's Nali, and the rest is history. Yoonchae is seemingly less sexualized than the other members, given her slightly longer shorts and slightly more conservative tops, but that doesn't mean shit if they're gonna make her dance to Nali, Gabriella, and Pinky Up. The biggest excuse given, other than age, is the idea that America is more sexualized, seen in Daniela and Lara. You would not believe how many videos I've seen saying how she's more free in the West. No, she isn't. This sexualization is so evident in Pinky Up. Why is she straddling a pile of clothes with a cowboy hat? Why is there a reel where she is similar to Cassie from Euphoria? Why is she and the other group members dressed in outfits meant to resemble underwear? selling perfumes of their breath to promote gum, made to dress like an adult but with youthful makeup. If there's anything you want to add to the conversation, I would be intrigued to read it. I frankly find it disturbing how they are seemingly marketed towards young girls as well as their other demographic. It really shows how a lot of pop culture can be used to groom children into normalizing things like this in the future. I hope to hear you guys in the comments soon and subscribe to help me out.